by the 15th world champion Vishy Anand, who has won his last game here in Stavanger against Sergei Karyakin. Vishy, we are going to ask you about the game, and of course congratulations on the result. We were expecting a 5-player tie and a player for tomorrow, but it seems that the game between Fabiano Caruana and Wesley So is going to be decided. Can we have your thoughts on this position?
I mean, here I think Wesley kind of panicked a bit, because while his position is hard to hold together, it's still holding fine. But he did this, which turned out to be very questionable. Anyway, a lot of things happened, and he found this brilliant idea. But Rook D2 was the draw.
Oh, so it is a draw?
No, Rook D2 was a draw. Hedge G4, Hedge G4, and then Black threatens Queen H8. So
wow.
The only move to draw is Queen G2, I think, and then Queen H8, and it's a perpetual after Queen H3.
Oh,
wow!
The king doesn't escape to the queen side.
This was
Rook
move
takes
This was move 41. So
oh no, he had time to think about it.
This was move 41, and he blitzed out Rook D3.
Oh no!
And it turns out Queen G2 wins. I mean, to be fair, Rook D3 is a 75%er because of White's 4 moves, 3 lost, but this one wins. And
wow.
That was, we were looking so much forward. So
Rook takes H3, played on move 40.
What the hell is this?
So the last move of Wesley before the time control was actually a brilliant sacrifice. Rook takes H3, but he didn't find a follow-up when he got the extra 50 minutes.
No, this is not the game.
This is just our analysis.
Okay.
You pointed out, I thought it would
this is the
after
game.
Rook D3, you can have Rook D3, I think somewhere.
Yeah, King G2 here, and H4. And now it's very awkward because I cannot play Rook E3 because of Queen B2. I cannot play Rooks E2 because of Queen G3 and Queen F4. But I think Rook C2 is winning because you come here, King F1. If Black plays H3, White then doubles the rooks on the second, so then that's out of danger. I mean, White's king will walk back and forth 100 times, but essentially it's over.
Yeah, maybe you can just run right away with King F3 or something.
As well, King F3, Queen G3, King E2, walk to C5, collect that pawn, walk back. Eventually Black will run out of chance and it's over. So this one's over.
Wow, because it is impressive with the Rook to D2 instead of Rook D3 that it would have been a draw indeed. And we would have seen playoffs tomorrow, that's what we were hoping for. Vishy, how did you see your chances heading into the last round with the black pieces and knowing that the win could give you a shared first place?
I mean, I was aware that the possibility existed, but when I was playing Sergei with black, I didn't, I didn't spend too much time on that. In fact, he played a very sharp line, but as is typical in these sharp lines, every line is a draw, if played correctly.
What was the key moment in the game when it turned?
Well, there were many. So he went Queen H4. And he later on said that Queen D6 is actually quite strong for black.
Who said that?
Sergei. So
my quite weak computer said that too, but then we started discussing computers because mine is just a laptop and yeah.
But he must have had this analyzed, Sergei, I believe.
Huh?
No, and his point was you do this, Knight E4. Sorry, not Knight E4. You can White still holds together the position with Queen E4. And it's not, I mean, I'll play Rook E8, something like takes, and Queen D5 or Rook D5. You know, White is still in the game, so it's not like I was winning. But it's interesting to see why this doesn't work, because if you do this, I thought it might be a draw with Knight F6. Oh, it is a draw. It is a draw. Because King G7, I go Knight H5 check and I repeat.
And if you go to H8?
If you go to H8, then Queen G5 and I repeat.
Queen G5, right.
So this is a draw. No, so that was, but I went Rook E8 and I expected this line. And I knew that this is compensation. I mean, black now has full compensation for the pawn because I'm winning the pawn on E3 back. But then he went for Bishop E4, which is very sharp. Okay, Queen B6, Queen H6, and here, or rather, only here I realized that there'd been a little flaw in my calculation. So I went here, I went Queen H6. Now I can't play F6 because of Bishop G6, Rook E7, Knight G5 winning on the spot.
That's a cool line.
Yeah, so I have to play F5. He goes knight g5. I can't go with rook e7 because of knight e6.
Maybe you can just go back because it was a bit fast. If it's a bit fast for me, I'm sure it's a bit fast for the others too.
And the other thing is cool that I can play queen takes c5 check. Queen takes c5, not check, sorry. Knight g5, queen e3 check, king b1. And when I entered this line, I thought queen e4 check and I'm winning. Because knight e4, I play bishop f5 and I'm winning.
Oh.
But then after he went bishop e4, I realized that queen e4 is a blunder because he just goes king a1 and I can lose.
Oh, and it's still mate on h7.
It's mate on h7.
With the rook and the piece down.
How do you consider the position after this, yes?
I mean, here I think black has very good chances to draw, but it's black who's fighting for a draw now.
Actually, Anand didn't think that. They thought it was the other way. They thought it was better for that position was better for black.
Which one?
Aronian and Nakamura, the one you just pointed out with the sacrifice of the queen there.
Yeah, but queen takes c4, king a1 wins, so I have to play queen g5 and bishop c4, and I don't think that's better for black. So,
well,
I mean, queen f4.
They looked, and then you just thought that this position was better for black.
Maybe, but I just assumed that white couldn't be worse. Yeah. I may have compensation with black, but I simply couldn't imagine that I'm better. But okay.
There's so many crazy lines
I
in
had
this
a
position.
question here with you said knight g5 at the moment, but
yeah. So this was one thing, but then after knight g5, I found this move, and now it's fascinating. So he can go knight f7, and now I play queen takes c5. No, hang on. He goes bishop takes c6. And if I go bc6, then he can play knight f7.
what about just b4?
Yeah, b4 works here because, sorry, I thought his knight was hanging, yeah. So he can go bishop c6, but in fact I get to play this move. Bishop e8.
Yep.
Queen c4 check. If king b1, then queen a2 and rook c7 wins. So king d2, queen d5. Now king e2, queen takes g2 works.
Yes.
So king e1, and now rook c7.
We saw this line, actually.
Yeah,
and you're protecting e5 after bishop f7.
I think black is winning.
Right.
So bishop f7, queen takes, king f8, and nothing is happening.
In the game between Fabiano and Wesley, just an update that they are heading for the position that you were mentioning, where there's two rooks and the bishop versus the queen.
Well, he just takes the king for a walk, and that's it. So then he went bishop d5, which surprised me because, well, I have to play rook e7. I didn't see something else. But here, it's not easy for black to make progress because if I play knight e5, he lands on d8 and thing. But then I saw this tactic and I decided to go for it. I'll go for queen e2. Maybe I am better here already.
What about bishop rook d6 here? And just to take on g6 and force a draw.
Could be possible. If I go knight e5, now again rook d8, yeah?
The queen is not trapped any longer.
It's good news without the pawn on h4.
Yeah, in fact, I don't really have a move, do I? Maybe I can go rook g7 or something.
Without...
Maybe then knight h7 works, I don't know.
Knight.
Yeah, no, I thought that the funny thing is white is not actually threatening anything, but maybe neither is black. Yeah, rook d6
Rook g7.
and queen c4 and takes on g6 is a draw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had actually seen rook d6, but h4 looks more dangerous, but he walks right into this knight e5 because now all these rook d6 and d8 ideas.
That was obviously...
I go queen d1. No, he just blundered and lost.
Yeah, right.
So I get the queen trapped. And actually after that it goes very fast. I think queen e4 is a mistake. I think this is even stronger. Because queen c1, I go queen... what I didn't like was queen e4 check. He has to go king a2. I go knight e3, he goes this rook here. I go queen e6 pinning the rook. And he goes knight g5 and I don't have g8.
Oh.
So I'm he gets unpinned. But I could have just played b5 here, and I think queen takes g2 is coming. So this would have been quicker. But I calculated this, that he has to allow me to exchange queens, and then he blundered again with h5.
Yes.
It's tough anyway, because I'll go king h6, h5, and then attack, play knight e3, rook e2, and collect pawns. But h5 loses on the spot, and so...
Suddenly Karyakin is making lots of blunders. How can that be explained?
I don't know. I mean, today was just a difficult game. I mean, so it could easily gone the other way, and you would be asking me him that question about me. So
yeah, because it's so complicated. And
it's complicated.
Eventually you spent all your energy, and then when you suddenly make a slight mistake, and
look, I'm obviously very happy to have finished with a win. It makes up a bit for yesterday, and since I mean the tiebreak was kind of being dangled in front of me for a while, but if you look at their game, around about here, it just seemed to me something like 80% that white or black would win. The last result, which seems logical here, is a draw. So around about here, I wasn't thinking of the tiebreak. Then this happened, and the tiebreak came back on, but now it's gone again.
You saw rook d2.
Well, the computer pointed it out. I didn't. I didn't even
have the time to look at it.
I wasn't really looking. We were kind of talking because the time control. But it's tough when you play rook d3 on move 41.
Yes.
So he will have a sleepless night, I think. But anyway.
Do you see
that's
any
annoying.
reason?
That's very annoying. Must be for him, sleepless night.
I was just going to ask Vishy if you see any psychological reasons behind the mistakes that are made on move 41, because it's not so uncommon to say that we have seen plenty of games, maybe not on the highest level, but this move 41 somehow seems to be a moment when it's a possibility to make a blunder.
Yes, I wouldn't go on about it. I mean, there's usually psychological reasons behind any blunder, but and so it is on move 41. That's all.
Do you think he just simply had to take a longer thought for the fact that he has received 50 minutes and just not rush with this decision of rook d3? Or he was sure that it was going to be working out?
No, it's easy to sit here and talk
of course,
about,
yeah, we are very wise here.
No, it's easy to sit here and be calm and say you should think.
Yeah.
But I'm sure his nerves were shot, and that's what happens. So.
In the final position here, maybe it's not. It's even easier, maybe to go. Not take the king for a walk, just go back here and just play e5 the moment this one moves. And then absolutely everything. Well,
no, but then you're forced to give the bishop.
Oh yeah, you're forced to give the bishop, sorry. It says on h3.
Check, you can even check here.
Right.
I don't know, maybe king f2, queen f4 here,
I take it back when I see the check on h3.
Yeah. I mean, the point is, the king is actually quite safe on
king
f3.
f3 has been
it's
played
quite
by
safe
Fabiano.
on a square like c4, because the bishop will control so many light squares that black will never have a perpetual.
Yeah.
So I think this one's a dead parrot.
Yeah.
Our final question should be, of course, is your general thoughts on the event, on the 6th edition of Norway Chess. How did you enjoy it here, taking into account the tournament, as well as your time here in Stavanger and the free-day activities?
Look, in the end, it finished well for me. That also influences your memories.
Of course.
But I keep coming back to Stavanger, so I think there you have my answer as to why I like the tournament. It's a very nice chess scene that we have here in Stavanger and Norway, and it's very enjoyable to be here. No, I like it, and if they call me back, I'll come back.
I'm pretty sure they will want you back, especially since they always strive to be the strongest tournament of the year, which they seem to manage lately. So we hope to see you next year as well, Vishy. Thank you so much for your insights on your game as well as the last decisive game of the tournament. We will go for a short break, and then we are back with the possible champion of the 2018 Altibox Norway Chess Tournament.